You are listening to The Ben Keech Show, where every day the objective is simple. Ben will never stop fighting the fight and lighting the light on topics that affect you every day.
Welcome, boys and girls, to The Ben Keech Show. My name is, in fact, Ben, so it gives me credit to be here right now, as I'm not an imposter or somebody that shouldn't be here. I actually named the show after myself, so I know it's weird. I understand. I got the most famous high school in the United States. We have the two most famous kids from the high school in the United States, from Olathe High School, right here in beautiful Kansas. Who did Kansas vote for in this last election? I'm trying to remember. What state do? Which?
Red. So Trump.
They're red. Okay,
Yeah.
Shocker. Okay, so we got a Trump state. Okay, we have most of your friends. Are they Trump, Kamala? Where were they at?
Trump.
Okay. All right. So this is making sense. Were you guys surprised that? Well, let me introduce. This is Bret Keech. This is my son, related to him, and then I have his buddy Jonathan Conan, who you've seen both of these guys before. These fine chaps. So tell what happened in this election. Were you surprised Trump won? What was the deal with Kamala? Why did she suck? What happened?
I was surprised. I thought Kamala was gonna win just because of the mainstream media and everything. I just thought everything I was hearing. I know the signs around here don't really matter because it's just Johnson County, but my whole neighborhood was all Kamala signs.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing.
It was I saw no Trump signs, and I think it was just silent majority came through.
Yeah, I think the Trump sign thing got bullied. Maybe I think people are afraid to have a Trump sign. Maybe, but there's Kamala signs everywhere. Why do you think Kamala lost?
I think with the Trump sign thing is that people can be scared to say that they're Trump supporters because people will view them differently just because they like Trump or support Trump for whatever reasons they have for supporting either one. Their even friends, family view them completely differently just because of political ideas. So then people are scared to put that out there because they view Trump in a certain way.
Do you think that happened? Do you think liking Trump, voting for Trump, happy that he won, can cause rifts in families sometimes? You think that happens?
I think it definitely happens.
Yeah. Why is that? Why does it matter?
I mean, I think that there's things that people have views on that they feel very strongly about, and then when people don't agree with those, they don't feel like they can still have the same relationship with them just because of their views on certain things that they are very passionate about.
Do you agree with that?
To an extent. I don't think people should end a super close relationship or family over political views. I mean, some of the closest family I'm with right now I view completely oppositely with all my political views, but I don't view them any differently because of that, which I think is very good. But to some extent, I think there is views that people can have that can cause rifts in family.
Jonathan, have you seen with friends or people you know, or where different political opinions, people don't like the other side or won't be friends with them? Have you seen that in your experiences?
Yeah, definitely. My family, there's definitely a lot of people on both sides, and I think I would never not be friends with somebody or not want to change a relationship. I think it doesn't even need to be brought up for the most part, because really it doesn't impact my life really yet.
Right.
Between the last Trump presidency and the Biden presidency, from my life, obviously my parents and they're paying for things and stuff hasn't changed whatsoever. So it's not something that I'm going to look at and judge somebody differently because of how they think.
Well, even if I would argue, though, I would say even if it did affect your life or change your life, it doesn't have to. We all have our thoughts and opinions. I mean, so you can take, for instance, that when Trump was president for the first 4 years, he picked 3 Supreme Court justices. Those 3 Supreme Court justices are going to be there for the next probably 25 years. So by the time you're having your 3rd kid, the impact of Trump's first term is still happening. Well, that's kind of a crazy thing to think about. And then you take the controversial issue of abortion, which we've talked about on this show before. You take that issue, And so people can say, well, because Trump appointed pro-life justices and Roe v. Wade was sent back to the states, that, I mean, there's always impacts. Like, there's always impacts. I mean, a lot of people say, look, I get up and go to work every day, I make my money, I go do, you know, it doesn't impact us all like the same way, but there are impacts.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, what people do is they vilify things they disagree with. So, for instance, if I happen to be pro-life, or I happen to have an opinion about capitalism, they're going to take my opinion and say my opinion is so wrong and so evil. So anything we say about you, whatever we have to do to stop it, we're going to do that. Versus understand that you're giving everybody too much credit. We simply need to listen, respect, and try to actually understand where people are coming from. I have rarely met, well, I've met plenty of well-rounded, intelligent, liberal-minded people. If you listen to the show, you know I'm conservative. What I haven't seen a lot of are liberal people who actually want to understand where I'm coming from, in my opinion. So I can say, I vote for Trump, that means you're like as bad as Hitler, so you're done. Like, why do you vote for Trump? What do you have conversations with people, kind of try to get where they're coming from. I think it doesn't happen very often. What do you think Trump's going to do good for the country? Like, where do you see this going? You think he's going to be does he have a good second term, or what are your guys, where do you think this is all headed now that he's going to be president?
I mean, I think the prices on things that have been skyrocketing the past 4 years, or however.
Yeah.
Feels like it's been about 4 years. I think the inflation will slow down a lot, and that will help stabilize some of the big things that have been not so well in the last 4 years.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I hope that Trump, I feel like sometimes with Trump you get a lot of like a whirlwind of like chaos sometimes. So I'm hoping that is not, I hope it's more peaceful just with his demeanor and his like how he comes across. But you know, you never know what Trump.
I don't think that's going anywhere.
Yeah, you don't think
Not
so?
even because of him. I just think there'll be a lot of scandals and stuff because the media.
There'll be made up stuff like the Russian. They're always going to make up January 6th. They're going to make up that he colluded with Russia. I mean, yes, there are always going to be attackers and haters on Trump, like no doubt about it. But I hope it from like how he comes across. I hope he maybe in some ways does a better job than he did the first time in terms of just how he manages himself with all the stupid stuff that's going to be going on around him.
After January 6th, did you think he'd run again? Or do you think he'd win?
I don't know. I did not. That's a good question. I didn't. I knew it was all made up. I knew it was ridiculous. I knew that he wasn't like, you know, the puppeteer trying to orchestrate, like, let's overthrow the White House. Like, it was some individuals that did it. He had nothing to do with it. But I don't know.
I thought he was done.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people did. It's the greatest comeback. Politically, it's the greatest political comeback you'll ever see. Being shot at twice, being like all the stuff against them, and to like basically in essence dominate the election the way he did.
Yeah.
But Kamala's horrible. Like you have someone running against him that she couldn't speak. She had no opinions. She rephrased things, like she talked in circles. She just wasn't a good candidate. And so, I mean, that's ultimately on the Democrats. The Democrats are trying to figure out what they did wrong. How did Trump beat us? Trump is bad. We're good. How did this happen? You had two horrible candidates. Joe Biden is closer to the grave than being able to take breath. Kamala has no business. Kamala has no business like being a manager of a Burger King, let alone a president. Like this is not like, these are not people that like I could go walk around town and find better Democrat candidates than those two were. Like
I think
they're horrible.
I think that's what a lot of what lost it for them, with the Kamala not receiving a single primary vote, and like pretty much she was lying to the American people for 3 years, saying Joe Biden's competent and he's active, getting up every day, and then it comes out, oh no, now he's not all of a sudden, and now she's distancing herself.
She didn't do interviews really. Yeah. She was just kind of distant. Yeah, I think there were they're great, smart Democrat candidates that could have done a better job. So,
I thought they were going to bring in Newsom.
yeah.
Because I think he just looks the part. Like,
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah. I mean, he does, and I think Kamala looks the part too. I think.
does she? Oh.
Yeah, no, I think she does. I think she's like you're talking about Newsom. I mean, I think Kamala, attractive, younger, again, like not looking like what Biden looked half the time. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. So, let's switch gears. You guys are high school students. Let's talk about some local stuff here. So, you guys play basketball. You guys got your season coming up. What are your thoughts about Olathe East basketball? What are your thoughts about, what have you guys done to prepare to where you're going at now? What are your goals? How do you see this season coming up as high school seniors in your final high school career?
I definitely think we can have a good team this year.
Yeah.
We definitely have the pieces to do that, and I like the amount of shooting we have on the team, which should be fun because I always like being a part of a team that has a bunch of good 3-point shooters.
Right.
I think a lot of other schools don't think we're going to be very good, which I think will be exciting to shock some people and show people what we can do and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like that. What are you guys? What's the mood on the team? How are the coaches feeling about the season? How's the camaraderie with all the guys?
I think the togetherness is great. Like, last year's team was first winning season in I think 6 years or something.
Okay.
Something like that last year, and just building off that, I love everybody that's gonna be in the locker room, and I think we just have 3 coaches that just care and want the best out of everybody. Really positive, really don't tear you down when you make mistakes and stuff.
Right.
And I think especially early on, if we can come out strong, we can really build some confidence because there's a lot of guys that haven't really played a ton of varsity.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. How will you look at 20 plus games later after the season's over? How would you judge this season as a success? What needs to happen for you to feel like it was a successful season?
My goal is definitely to win a playoff game.
Right.
I think that's something I want to do, but I also think that's something good for Olathe East basketball as a whole because that hasn't happened since I've been in high school.
Right,
so I think that'd be good and exciting for everyone that's at Olathe East and for everyone to be.
Yeah.
That'd be exciting. And definitely to have a winning record this year.
Right. Yeah, I like it. What you got any shout outs to any of your coaches? Any coaches that you guys are fond of that are doing a good job working with you guys? What's your thoughts on any of your coaches?
I love Coach Campbell. Who was my JV coach last year, and
Okay.
it's just really the whole staff with Jackson and Darce, they're all great. But I think Campbell just brings a positive energy that I love being around, and it's infectious throughout the team.
That's cool.
Builds togetherness.
Yeah.
I really like all 3 coaches, kind of what Johnny was saying, but I think they're all different in their own way. I think they have how they organize and how they talk about different things. I feel like they all have their own role and they're all good at communicating to us in their own way, and whether that's teaching us or just talking to us or whatever that is. I think that's something, there's a good balance, and I think they're really good at that.
Yeah. So let's go switch a different gear. So you guys have had a lot of teachers at your time at Olathe East. You've had good ones or bad ones. We're not going to call any bad ones out, but tell me what is annoying about some of the? Do you have any annoying teachers, or are they annoying? What are these behaviors of these teachers that need to get a life and wake up? Or we talked already about the good stuff. We're not going to use any names, but if you had a room full of 50 future teachers that wanted to be great high school teachers someday, you guys might be teachers someday. What are the things you're come on, teachers, wake up! You don't have to act like this. What are some of those things?
Sometimes it annoys me about teachers when I feel like they don't want to enjoy their life. It sounds bad to say, but I feel like they just want to be rude, or they just don't want to have a conversation like a normal person.
Wow.
I just don't understand. That just doesn't I don't always understand why some people are like.
Interesting.
I feel like sometimes teachers need to just loosen up a little bit sometimes. Like,
okay.
obviously they need to do their job, teach us, and be able to control a classroom and not have chaos 24/7. But also just like having a normal conversation with the student isn't a bad thing. It's good for the student and the teacher. I think getting to know your students is good.
Right.
I think,
yeah.
I feel like that's something. If you're going to be a teacher, I feel like you should like getting to know students.
You think they're burnt out or something? You think they're why do you think that, or is their personality just how they are?
I don't.
Miserable people.
I really don't know.
I know exactly who he's talking about.
Not gonna say anything.
Not gonna say
anything. What's your take on some of the teacher part of it? Like,
yeah, in that situation, I think it's just you gotta. At least act like you like your job, and I think to some point too, like we'll just come in and do silent, busy work, and I don't think you get much from that. I think, and sometimes we'll do conversations and stuff, but I think letting kids talk and communicate with one another isn't always a bad thing.
Right.
And especially if you know their friends in senior year, it's not the end of the world if on a Monday you're coming in talking about the game last night.
Right. How did some of your football season ended? How did some of your friends, how they do, what they think about it? What are their thoughts on your football season?
I know they were obviously really sad when they lost, but overall I think it was a good year for honestly all of my friends that played football. They all played very well this season.
Yeah.
And I think it overall went well, and they're happy with how their senior year went. Minus they would have wanted to win a few more games in the playoffs.
Right. What's it like when it's all over? Like that's basically it's all almost over. Is it like hip hip hooray, like ready to move on? Is it sad? Like how do you think you're gonna handle, your last shot or your last the last stuff's coming? So what can you even begin to understand those emotions, or is that not even in your mind right now?
I've been trying to keep that out of my mind because I struggle thinking about that honestly because it's what I've been doing literally my entire life. It's 60% of my thoughts in my life have been about sports and basketball, and in whatever 4 months most likely I won't be playing another sport in my life. So it's like that is it's really weird to think about.
Yeah.
Because that's what most of my life has been about. Is that. So I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Seems really hard to do.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like you've prepared for the season? You feel good about your workouts and where you're at? That you feel good about all that?
Yeah, I think just for me, it's just more of a mindset thing than anything else. Just owning whatever role I have and trying to be unselfish to help the team win in any way. But I think we put as much work in as anybody, so from that standpoint, we're prepared.
Let me ask you guys, let's switch gears for just a quick second here. So what do you think, so you have, like I'm thinking about one of your guys' friends right now, but you have like these guys and gals, they like each other, they date, they do all these different things that high school kids do. Like what are some of the kids in high school doing, like, well, like, is it even smart to have a boyfriend or girlfriend in high school? Are they good? Or is it just all like crazy? Or like how do you look at like dating in high school? Is it stupid? Or what do you guys see in that regard?
I don't think it's stupid, but I think for 98% of high schoolers who are in a relationship, it's gonna end out not the best, and whatever. But I think it's more just an experience thing. Like I don't think it's bad to get an experience with dating someone you like in high school. I don't think that's bad at all.
What percent was that?
Very low percent of.
There are success stories.
There is.
There are success stories.
That's why I didn't say 100.
There are a few success stories, yes. But it's an experience. Yeah, that's like what do you think kids, like, do you think they take it serious? Do you think they can actually fall in love, or do you think it's just like something to do, or like what do you guys see with that?
I think people take it seriously. Yeah. And some people.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I'd say they take it seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always exceptions, but
Right.
yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people my age, because dating has changed so much for even like across the board. So I think they pretty much like look at whatever's going on with the 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds is probably just all stupid, all dumb, all a waste of time. So I think sometimes older people don't give younger people like it's just not all like that. But then I think I don't even know because I'm not, I don't hang out with, I don't know what 18-year-olds are doing, but I think there's a perception probably from people that it's a lot of immature, stupid stuff, and maybe it is. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much of it's immature, stupid stuff.
I mean, there's definitely immature stuff that's going on. I mean, high schoolers fight about very immature things, and there's always stuff like that. But I don't think it's dumb, because I think it's all just a learning experience.
Yeah,
so
I would agree.
I don't think it's dumb.
Seems like seems like with younger people, there's going to be more jealous stuff, probably jealousies maybe, or more like possessive behaviors.
Yeah, especially, I mean, I guess I don't know, but I feel like especially in high school when they're like just around a bunch of people the same age, same friend groups that are similar to you, there's just people that are jealous and
right.
I don't know, that happens.
Well, I want to wish you guys a good luck in your season. Number one, I'll be going to every game, obviously. Very thankful that Trump won. I think that's best for our country, regardless if you like him or not. I think he'll be as motivated as any president in history of our country to do a good job, and I think people are going to see that. And I think that, I think we'll see how the season goes. I appreciate you guys being on again. Folks, it's super easy. We may put their Instagram handles if you guys want to follow them, message them, tell them they did a good job, see how their season's going in the show description. So whether that's on YouTube or Apple or Spotify, you can find the show anywhere there. Subscribe. It helps the show get more notoriety and kind of helps build. If you like this episode, share it with your grandma, share it with a friend, share it, let people kind of get a feeling of what's going on here, what we're trying to do. But it's nice to kind of support these high school kids in their final year of this adventure and this experience as they go into adulthood after here. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here, boys. It was great. I will talk to you guys all later. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Let's keep the conversation going. You can reach out on Ben's website, www.benkeechshow.com, or on social media to chat. And please remember to subscribe so that you never miss an episode.